Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sophia. I'm Ashlyn, and this is Betty and Vicky. And this is Frank, the fish, but you'll see more of him later. Now being midday, you would have probably already finished a bottle of water. What did you do with it afterwards? Did you throw it away? 1/10 of the 100 million tons of plastic produced every year actually ends up in the ocean, while it could take 20 years for some plastics to even start degrading. As a result, huge areas of plastic are floating in our sea. The largest of it is called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It's twice the size of Texas and more than 500 times the size of Hong Kong.
If you fill 1/4 of a plastic bottle with liquid, that's roughly how much oil it took to make that single bottle. Putting things into perspective, manufacturing all plastic bottles used in Hong Kong in a year will take 330,000 barrels of oil, generating around 140,000 tons of CO2.
Now, I'm sure many of you are a fan of seafood. However, potential death of oysters, mussels, and fish may be resulted from the accumulation of plastic in the sea. For all bird lovers, 44% of all seabird species have been found to have consumed plastic by mistake.
According to the government, around 5 million plastic bottles are discarded every day. That is 5 bottles for every 7 people a day. Even in our schools, heaps of plastic bottles are disposed at an alarming rate. These bottles used in our props were sourced from school.
So why does that matter? Well, production of plastic bottles are actually detrimental itself. Transporting those bottles is another issue. Vehicles will emit even more greenhouse gases, worsening climate change trifold. Well, you know the drill.
We have already severely polluted the atmosphere, but it's time that we step up our efforts to ward off the worst-case scenario. Now, introducing you to our plan that is simple yet effective. All we have to do is simply reduce the amount of plastic bottles we're adding to the environment. In school, instead of purchasing one-use bottles of water, we could bring our own recyclable, reusable bottles to top up at water fountains within the campus. In the office, use cups or travel mugs. It may seem inconsequential, but over time, you might potentially be the one to save our planet. Everyone can take a step to help climate change. After all, charity begins at home.
To further help, we bring you Unbottle. Did you know that 40% of what you do every day is pure habit? Unbottle is an app targeted to help you form the habit of eliminating plastic bottles from your daily life and changing your 40% for the better. By not using a plastic bottle that day, you earn a stamp in the form of a fish. Inspired by the Don't Break the Chain concept, Unbottle encourages users to use less bottles and thus mitigating climate change brought by plastics.
One day gone without using plastic bottles is one day crossed off on the calendar. As an additional incentive, a random fun fact about environmental protection will come with your stamp. For every milestone you achieve, you can post your accomplishment on the social media of your choice to promote green leafing to your Prius and to show off how environmentally friendly you are.
Just by sitting here, you can help. On the circular we will pass out, we invite you to scan the QR code and enter the link to find an infographic that you can save and share with your friends and family to let them know the pressing issue we face and encourage them to choose reusals and ditch disposables. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Team 2.